People still say e-cig.
I think you just say vape and it's a blanket right now.
A blinker.
Well, a blinker is that's when you know what a blinker is, right?
No. No.
The Golden Reach Show. That's Jess.
And that's Sasha.
And I think we're live on Adobe Radio. I believe that we are. We intend to be. That's for sure. If we're not, then we surely are gonna, we'll have fun anyway. Find us everywhere. Cool Nerd Weed Show is what you can search at Cool Nerd Weed Show on Instagram, on I guess Twitter we're Cool Nerd Weed, but that app fucking blows butts. And YouTube is a great place to find us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, YouTube's great. Find us on the Adobe YouTube, and we have our own little clippies, some behind the scenes action for you, which I feel like can't hurt. It's fun to see. It's fun.
Look at our beautiful faces. Look at the studio.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That is very a very big thing for Adobe and for us is this really rad ass studio that we are in. It's Gorgina, and it has all of the bestest stuffs, and we love to come here. We've been coming here for so many years. Even when it was the old studio, we were always here, just like living it up. And might I add, we've only forgot that we left weed out here once. And it was recently.
in our tenure.
Yeah, in our tenure, in our almost 10-year tenure, we have only been disrespectful to the space once, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We're respectful stoners.
Yeah, we left.
We are.
I meant to take that with me.
Yeah, that was just
It obviously didn't go to waste.
No, no, which is great.
But it stank.
Yeah, it did.
At reception.
Yeah, it was burnt weed for sure.
Apologies.
Yeah. Sorry, but we're glad it didn't go to waste. We love you, Adobe. We love everything about you. Listen to Adobe always, and especially listen to Adobe on election night, which is right around the bend. I thought for a second this was the last show before election night, but we'll be on the night before election night.
Yeah, we're going to do a pre-election night show.
Yeah, election night eve. That will be our next show before that will be the last show before actual election night. So definitely listen to that Adobe Radio at that point too. But the day after is election, and there will be live election coverage here at Adobe Radio with us and the It's News to Us lads. And we'll have people call in a bunch too. Well, I'm talking I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be on. We're gonna be on for hours.
Yes,
we're gonna call the election as it happens live on Adobe Radio.
Yeah,
with It's News to Us.
Yeah, it's gonna be good for us to have a support group, because it's gonna be. Really, there's so many things on my For You page that are like, do you have election fucking anxiety? Are you ready to unalive yourself because of this election? Are you? And the answer is yes.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
We do. Now it's a different sort of, our very good homie, our Canadian homie, the fearless leader of Adobe Hell, Patrick Walford, said to us a couple weeks ago that he's been following the news. He's in Canada, follows it just as much as the rest of the world, probably a little bit more, and was like, is it really that close? And I was like, it's very nail-bitingly close, and the rest of the world can't even believe it. The rest of the world is like, what?
How? Even here in America, we're questioning what kind of coverage is going on in the rest of the world.
Well, especially I don't know.
I watch the BBC occasionally. I don't know about the CBC.
When I was in Japan, it was a lot of there weren't a lot of
It's like when you're traveling abroad, you have like three choices.
Yeah.
It's like CNN, BBC,
Yeah.
and then like Al Jazeera.
And there's a lot of stuff going on around the world. So we tend to think that we're the center of the universe in the U.S. of America. And we ain't. But it is tumultuous here. And it is fucking scary. And we are pretty much politicking until the election. We kind of have to because weed is on the ballot in a few states, as we know. And also, like, it's not just about weed for us. We are also believers in body autonomy and rights for all of us, and not fascism. I mean, we don't like it. Like, that's not our... We like
It's
don't
definitely
like it at all.
no. You can say we're anti-fascist.
You can say that. You can absolutely say that with your full chasticles and all them toes on the ground. Because I will stay. You know what? You want to know what? Hot take. Fascism sucks. And we're not just throwing this word around willy-nilly. It's not rhetoric that we, the nerds, or that side, or people who are voting for Kamala are saying. It's truly gotten to a point where it does seem, it's giving a way, like, it's giving Germany right before, horrible things have happened. And I keep thinking, like, what was the Sasha in Germany? Like, what was she, like, was she watching this and being like, holy shit, this is like democracy is slipping through our fingers and we've lost all humanity? Or was it like, because we didn't have the age of the internet, we didn't have like as much information, we just had propaganda. So like now that we can see everything and now that we know for sure it's bad, like the stress, the anxiety that I'm feeling is like, it's almost like a deep rooted sadness if it goes the wrong way. I said this last week. We have two choices, and each choice will change us irreparably for the better. Because if we vote in a black woman or a person of color woman, oh my God, like the hope when just like less than 100 years ago, neither of those two words that I used to describe our vice president were even allowed to vote or were considered people. Like, that is such a step in the right direction for this place.
Yeah, we would think as a society here in the United States that we would learn something from history and not be doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past.
Mm-hmm. Both of our own and others.
And
Germany
others.
looked at us. They were like, they really got that slavery thing going. Like, they know what they're doing over there. Let's adopt some of those practices. And then we were like, whoops. And we're like, that was something that we would like not to have a part of anymore. And the slipping back to how it was before the whoops is like, I could feel it. I could feel it all going away. And whenever I talk positiveness, which it's difficult to do, but whenever we do it, usually about weed and stuff, when we're talking about Kamala, we're talking about progression, going forward. Reproductive rights, we're going forward. We're going to the point where, I mean, she said this a bunch, but we cannot look back, or else we do become like, I don't know, just a society that it would just break my goddamn heart.
We were making such great progress.
We were.
For a long time.
We were.
For a while. Things were happening.
And then, it's easy for us to say it too. We're two like white kids who can stand on this side. We know it's like not the best, and we know there's a lot of things that need to be worked on. A whole butt ton of stuff that needs to be fixed. But these things have a chance of being fixed with Kamala in office. Nothing has a chance of being fixed. Nothing with Donald Trump. Nothing. I don't want to hear that he didn't do this 4 years ago. He didn't do fascisms 4 years ago. That's because he had gatekeepers. He had people to say, oh, stop that. All those people just like said last week that he was a fascist. So like he had some people who were still like, not complete Klan members who were like down to like pull him back a little bit and keep our democracy. They're not there anymore.
No. And either they were fired, they quit because it was too insane. But if Donald Trump is reelected, he will be cherry picking people that are completely loyal to him. And
to this cause of stripping rights,
which
to everyone,
has a playbook. It's Project 2025.
Yeah, and that's not just like some crazy idea that we're just us fucking bleeding liberals are waving around at all. It's a real reality, and J.D. Vance with the forward. So it's real, and it's not just people who support Trump. But it's people who support this super bad way of thinking of a society and how a country should operate. It is where the experiment, I think, again, either goes completely on the correct way, where rights aren't taken away and people aren't, scrambling to figure out how they're going to live their lives, or we go to a really, really dark place in our history. And I think it's difficult to imagine that, because in our lifetime or generation, like, we haven't really seen this. We saw a taste of it with Donald Trump, but then COVID happened, and then we were all like locked in. So a lot of the stuff I'm sure he wanted to do, he just like couldn't, because everybody was sick. He did his best though. He worked with Russia the whole time. He really was. This is another thing that the Nazis did. So I feel like this, our voices, our podcast, our rights, weed in general.
If Donald Trump is elected, we eventually will not even be allowed to speak on this show.
These words that we're saying, we will not be able to say.
Well, we will be shut down.
100%.
Censored.
100%.
And, that's part of it. He wants to shut down and control the media.
And he's said, and everybody's like, well, he didn't do it. Because at that point, he couldn't do it, and then COVID happened. I really do believe if he was unleashed without COVID in the world, he would have done much, much worse. Things would have been even worse than they were. And they were, like, bad. Things were bad. It's not just funny rhetoric. It's, like, I think a really good example of what it is was, this is October 28th today. We're live on Adobe Radio. Yesterday, there was a rally at MSG. Another thing that the Adolf Hitler did. There was a rally at MSG in New York City. Inside, you have very tone-deaf people in politics and comedians, just the lowest common denominator of rhetoric and quote-unquote humor, and kind of like hyping up an already shell of a person. And then outside, you have legit white supremacy marches and Proud Boys and Nazis and
hate groups.
They were legit. It's not just God hates F words. It is them plus a bajillion times more about everybody who's not white. And it's terrifying to have that. And it's like inside, it's everybody like, ha ha ha, let's laugh at these fucking horrible, demoralizing jokes about anybody who's not us. And then outside, it is legit violence and fucking terror.
That is Trump's muscle right there.
Yeah. And that is what this country looks like with a Trump presidency. So everything that I mean, I felt like we had to rant about it just for a second, just because I can't just like pretend, you know.
Everything's okay.
Yeah,
Everything's
and we try to
fine.
have PMA and we do our best, but this is important. Plus, we're gonna we're election callers now, so we like have to talk about it because we're in the biz now.
How could you not say something when there's like the Fourth Reich is having a rally in the name of Donald Trump in the middle of Manhattan, Madison Square Garden?
And you have fucking herb ass Elon Musk being like, gothic MAGA. Like, shut the fuck up, dummy. Like, it's like one of those things that you want to kind of be like, haha, like it'd be funny if it wasn't so fucking scary.
Yeah,
and it's like there's no, it bums me out that there's even people who do think that, like it's funny or he's just being funny, like it's so not funny anymore.
Where is the joke? Where is the joke?
It's not funny anymore. None of it. And it wasn't funny then, but it was almost comical. Now it's dire and it's serious. If you haven't early voting has begun. Fill out your ballot if you got one mailed. If you haven't and you're voting on polling day, have a plan. Know that if you are in certain places, it might be more difficult for you to vote. Know that your vote counts. Know that this election is free and fair. Know that TS and I had guards by our ballot box. Could be for various reasons in a questionable place. But there are people protecting your right to vote right now.
Yeah.
Right now. It's still our country, and we still have this democracy that we've been practicing for the last couple centuries. And I think, like, I love when, like, Kamala says she's, like, a person, like, she's a public servant. Like, I love when she says that, because I'm like, oh, that is what's missing so many times from a candidate is, like...
Absolutely.
Like, she was out ya, had views, put boots on the ground, and then, like, thought about those views and was like, oh.
But it's also Kamala Harris is not afraid of, looking to other people for ideas and collaborating on and fixing these problems that we're having. Well, Donald Trump is only after his own interests. And, speaking of controlling the fucking media, Elon Musk owns Twitter.
Exactly. Fucking herb.
If you didn't
Twitter.
know by now.
Yeah, he owns Twitter, who everybody refuses to call it X. But yeah, he does. And it's been reported that he's suppressing some tweets, and he himself is tweeting, he's retweeting Nazi rhetoric. He's tweeting pro-Trump stuff. It's extremely, it's insane. It shouldn't be legal, and maybe one day it'll be investigated. Like, maybe when Kamala wins, she'll investigate all this shit, and all these idiots will either be in jail or will refrain from fucking committing fascisms. So
yes, it's important to vote these people out and be assured that your vote does count, and it is a safe and fair process. I voted early. I received a text message and an email telling me that they received my vote, and then the next one was my vote was counted.
So yes, it is very easy to know that your vote is going through, and it's very easy to vote at this moment in time. So if you haven't, please do it. And if you're doing it on election day, just have a plan, know where you're going, and document that you voted too. I think it's all important. I think all of the tedious things are important at this time. I don't know why. I just feel like maybe there's going to be a police state or something. So if we are right and lucky, and not just lucky, but if the world is going the way we hope it's going, Kamala will be in office. And she did just release a to-do list with a bunch of stuff on it. She put it on X, But cannabis reform was right up there. It was 6th on the list. So it's next to some pretty big things.
For all of you people that are undecided and are just wondering what her plan is, Kamala released her to-do list.
She did.
And, it's the start of plans. And there are plans in place. You can be assured that things will be happening with Kamala Harris. Not just concepts of plans, not repeal and replace like they're trying to do with our health care under the Trump administration. Was never repealed. There was no plan for replacement. Kamala has a plan right here, her to-do list.
Yeah.
These issues will bring people out.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, restoring reproductive freedoms.
Yeah. Yeah, that comes right before legalized recreational marijuana. Now, what that looks like could be a descheduling or a rescheduling. I keep saying like a rescheduling. That way we can see.
Well, we want the descheduling.
Well, of course that's what we want, but
we're probably going to get
realistically speaking, I mean, shoot for the stars and everything. But like, taking it completely off would be wonderful, but there's still going to be Republicans in the White House that don't care for it. They're not going to, I don't think they'll let it be completely off the list.
We do have to meet in the middle.
Yeah, which is
like,
whatever.
It's still progress.
Exactly. Like it's I know it's like a bummer to be like, it's the little things, but with weed, it is a tiny little step. I was saying this last week, even though it may not be a giant leap.
It starts locally with your local decriminalization of cannabis and it builds into a nationwide federal rescheduling.
Yeah. 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 It definitely is a good step in the right way. And just the fact that they are looking at it on a national level is another important thing. On the other hand, J.D. Vance is worried about fentanyl-laced weed. And
that old tale,
yeah,
which has been debunked before. J.D. Vance is still trying to push it.
Yeah, and while he was in office, we mentioned quite a bit that reform just went backwards. He had people surrounding him who hated it, hated reform, hated everything about it. So it all goes backwards. Even the Florida, weed is on the ballot in Florida, as you well know. We urge you to take a real good hard look at it and know that it can be worked on if you need be, and if it's made into law, cannot. So just know that you will probably have the opportunity to vote on this if it doesn't get passed this time. Just putting it out there, Florida.
Amendment 3. Amendment 3 is a constitutional amendment in the state of Florida. And once you put this into the Constitution, it will be hard to change it. So take a look at the pros and cons if you're in Florida and make an informed decision. I'm pretty sure we posted a video.
We did. We're so, it's worth repeating. It's worth repeating because it's just such a big deal this year that we continue to have a conversation and grow as a country and as a society. And weed was such a great issue all these years to look at as kind of almost a thing across the aisle that people can come together on. It was always, while there's still stigma and there's still so much to work through, there was always somebody you can go down to Florida or you can smoke with your in-laws that are Republican, but they will still smoke weed with you, So I think we've started to get to a place where weed isn't a part of the DARE program,
No, there's bipartisan support for cannabis reform.
Yeah. So we can still stay at that place. I don't even know if I care if Donald Trump gets elected, if I care about weed reform at that point. Because at that point, I'm terrified for all of the other things that are going to get taken away. Oh, God, imagine fucking True Leaf weed. State-run True Leaf weed all over the country.
The whole country of True Leaf.
Imagine they confiscate all of the weed that's not True Leaf, and then that's what we have to smoke. Ugh.
All the crafty cannabis is gone from California, and suddenly it's the United States of True Leaf.
Oh, God. No.
Larfy, moldy, boof.
The humanity.
You painted the most dystopian picture.
I know. I know.
I'm about to shave my head into a mohawk.
I'm gonna go.
Put on some leather pants.
A Mad Max-esque tableau is forming where we're smoking shitty state-run True Leaf weed and playing guitar on top of a True Leaf weed delivery van. Our point is get out and vote. We have a clear person who will take us to better places where we can have discussions and figure out how to make everything continue to go into the right direction. And being concerned about world issues and being concerned about how you feel you've been treated yourself is valid. Nobody's saying it's not valid. It's just there isn't rhetoric here. It's either we get to the right place, which is growth and discussion and maybe some mistakes, but doing something, and then to the other place, which I think we've seen happen before with other places that have had dictators. It doesn't turn out well.
It never does.
For the home country of the dictator and other countries around. It's not good. It's not fun. It doesn't bode well. So we urge you to vote, use your voice, be educated on your vote. There's many websites to help you if you don't know about all of the local elections. I use them, but use them. They work. And listen to us that Tuesday, because we surely will be. I mean, I'll probably cry once or twice. I'm just gonna warn you.
I'm bringing a box of tissues.
Like I get choked up when I talk about it here. Just the horribleness of it all. Just the bodily autonomy of it all really destroys my heart. And trans right, it destroys my heart, and I hate it all. So I want to be a country that is on the right side 1,000 years from now when they're reading our history books or looking at our history
on a gold CD that's in space.
On a time capsule that we buried in the LA River, and they see, okay, 2024. That was the year. That was the year it all went to hell, and the fall of the modern day America happened, or that was when progression really started to form. And that was when we voted in a woman of color into the United States presidency. That's when weed became federally legal. That's when Medicare was protected. That's when reproductive rights were not even fucking fucked with anymore, because women and people of color are people who have rights in this country. Oh, beautiful.
Spacious waves of
couple Mondays before Election Day in 2024. If you are listening in the future, this is when we are. And I don't know how'd it go. How'd everything go? How we doing?
If we're still on, everything went well.
Yeah, and we will be. Yay! So if and when weed does become decriminalized, and your state, because it is on the ballot in many states this year, your state becomes recreational or even just medicinal, and you've never been to a dispensary, we like to be your friendly neighborhood nerds and just kind of help you out with what's like what when you go into a dispensary, it could be overwhelming, but usually you'll talk to a budtender and you'll be able to kind of like get a feel for things. And we started talking about this last week. We got through like the first 3, I think, and then we had to go. But we can review those real quick.
Let's start from the top.
Yeah. So you walk to your local dispensary. It's actually really easy to find them. Weed Maps is great, but make sure you're gonna want to make sure it's like a dispensary that's licensed by the state. It's very easy to go into a trap shop in a lot of places in the world. It's easy to find out. They're like license numbers or places. And
yeah, there's all the shops have a QR code you can scan. They should have it at the door. Also, I don't think Weed Maps in California lists anybody that's
oh, really?
that's not legal and licensed anymore.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's finally.
Yeah, it's difficult, and I've never tried to look on Weed Maps in New York, but I have to assume that there's a whole other maps for the smoke shops that were open. But yeah, it's very easy to find what place is closest and comfortable for you. And these are some questions that we kind of like to know, so you kind of might want to ask yourself this before you go, so you have an answer and you're not like scrambling. That's what I like to do. I'll literally rehearse my conversations from start to end.
You can you can review menus before you come in. Also, we're going to ask you, how do you want to consume your cannabis?
Yeah, first and foremost, are you looking to smoke like a flower sit? Are you graduating from flower to concentrate? Or are you not even looking to consume it or ingest it at all? Do you just want it for pain? Do you just want to get a soak or a topical? Or, you know, these things are important and they're all very different. So it's good to know what you're looking to try and how you're looking to try it.
Yeah, it's good to know the terms. If you don't, it's helpful. Pictures are also helpful.
Very, yeah. I used to you couldn't bring out your phone at a dispensary, so it was hard to show
now
pictures. But now, obviously,
now it's like, you want to do a video in here? Go ahead. Cool.
For real. Yeah, you can bring in a full ass crew if you want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, grab your phone, show us a pic of what you're looking to jive.
Something maybe you've had it before. Maybe you want to try something new.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you were told.
You have a friend.
This was recommended to you. Yeah, that's definitely a good place to start. And yeah, just kind of what do you look at? How are you looking to do this? And then it's another question to ask yourself would be, what is your intent?
Yes.
With our daughter, cannabis.
Please state your intentions with cannabis.
Yeah.
And we'll help you find your what do you want to do? What are you getting into? Do you want to, we're in LA, so I have a lot of there's a lot of people that I have a deadline. I need to write.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a writer. I need to get this done. Do you have any sativas, something,
right,
whatever it is? Maybe a little THCV,
mm-hmm,
or maybe you need to sleep,
right,
which is very common.
Yeah,
also
for sure.
everywhere, sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get you a little CBN. What do you want to do? Like, do you want to unwind but not be knocked out? You just want to watch a movie? You're going for a jog? You want to go to the park?
Yeah. And this is also if you have a doctor that you feel comfortable with talking with about weed. I mean, use your discretion, but not all doctors are well-versed or down with non-traditional medicine. But if you have one that you trust, bring it up. Maybe say, hey, I was looking at cannabis to treat my this. And likely they will say, but if they know your whole medical history, we won't know that. We're not allowed. So we have anecdotal things. We have things that we know from companies. We have things that we've experienced ourselves. But we weren't trained in medicine. So it is good to have maybe a doctor's opinion. However, you will find that a lot of doctors aren't so hip on weed just yet. So it is very, there is a lot of trust to have in your budtender. But we just should recommend giving your doc a shout if you'd like. But you don't have to because we know our shit. But please do that if you can. And yeah, those symptoms, those things that you're trying to relieve, we can help as soon as you tell us what and where they are. And what you take for sleep will be different than back pain. So I can't, if you're having back pain, you're like, can I have an edible for back pain? I don't know. Maybe at some point, just like you will take Tylenol for back pain, but I can also give you a patch that you can put on your back that's full of THC and CBD, and that's targeted. And I know for a fact that will probably help you quicker and better than an edible, which will help, but just in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so those creams are very effective.
Yeah.
And, you have pain, aches and pains, and you don't want to be knocked out. A direct topical approach is the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. So, so the next question that is important is how much are you looking to spend? We did break this down last week.
We did with controversies and all.
Yeah, with controversies.
But
it is worth knowing what your budget is. A weed budget is really important. It sounds like a joke, but it's not. I've been budgeting for weed my entire adult life, and it's helpful to know, okay, this much money is going towards weed each week or each month or whatever, and trying to stick to that, or not even knowing, saying like, okay, maybe I have $20. What can that get me? That's fine too. Just a guideline is helpful because we can help you get the best of that price range.
Yeah, if somebody comes in, you've got $25. You need an edible, a pre-roll. I'm going to find you the best, and you're probably going to have change.
Yes.
You're probably going to get back change.
Yes, and also make sure you know the taxes of where you are and how that dispensary displays their prices. Yeah,
this is important. You could ask. You should always ask if taxes on the menu that you're seeing, if they are pre or post tax, because they're listed both ways. There's no there's no uniform way. So you might see something that looks really low, and then you add like a 35% tax to that, then it goes up quite a bit.
Yeah, if it's a funny number, like if it's $67 or something, like the tax was probably added, right? Like
if it's if it's probably, you know what I mean?
Like if it's like 35, it probably was, or like 40 even on the dot. The tax probably wasn't. I guess, I don't know, you can make it so that it would be.
That's another thing. Like some people just don't want to deal with change and round things to nice round numbers.
Right.
Which is helpful for our stoner brains to wrap around, because that's how we always worked.
Yes.
An eighth was $50. It wasn't,
it wasn't
52, 69.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, ask those questions. Those are really important. You could always call.
Yeah.
Give us a call.
It's good
we'll let you know.
It's good to call and give and have the most information you can about where you're going, for sure. Okay. Yeah. So that's good to know, good to have, good for yourself, good for the budtender. So this is what we didn't get to. So it's like, what is your level of highness that you're trying to achieve? Are you just trying, again, to have something completely non-intoxicating, which is a CBD mostly based product, topical, stuff like that? Or are you looking for something psychoactive, for something that's going to hit you harder? How long do you want to be stoned for? We can help you with that as well. We can help tell you what products will keep you laid out, or what products will kind of just give you that little high jolt that you need to get you through the day, like an espresso shot.
There's so many products now. Cannabis is being ingested on the nano molecular level. So you get a nano gummy, it will hit you in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's true. It does hit you quick. But for me, it doesn't last long. Those nano gummies will hit me in 15 minutes,
true.
but I'll only be stoned for maybe an hour.
You're getting all the dose at once, and it's
Right,
passing right through. So, that we have to know that the duration of your high isn't going to last that long as it would if you had a more traditional edible that digests more slowly and sort of a time release in your guts.
Yeah. And if you smoke a joint, you will be less high over an hour or two. But if you take a dab, then you'll be more high, but it will likely be it will only last you the same amount of time. Inhalation methods don't really vary. It's just the intensity that varies mostly. But yeah, digesting, ingesting, topical, dabbing, smoking, all of those methods will make you stoned for a longer period of time. And edibles are a different beast that you have to metabolize. So definitely have that in mind. I want to take it at night to fall asleep, sleep through the night. I want to take it during the day, or I want to do weed during the day to get myself over this hump, so on, yada yada. Boop to do. Did your mom say that? Boop to do.
Well,
it's an East Coast.
Whoop-de-doo.
No, not no. That's a yada yada yada.
Oh, okay.
She went to the store, she picked up her cigarettes, boop to do. She went home to the bus stop, whatever, like that. I guess not.
No.
So the next one is, this is actually really important, and it's something that I feel like we don't talk about enough in dispensaries or when we're having interactions with our customers and vice versa, is how discreet do you need to be?
This is very important.
Yeah.
I think, people are living very close quarters in a lot of newer buildings, which are totally no smoking at all.
Yeah. Well, a lot of cities that have close living, like New York, are making weed legal. And at least in LA, it's pretty spread out. But there are a lot of buildings here. And in New York, they have a lot of non-smoking laws that just can't be changed. I mean, NYCHA is not going to change their non-smoking law when weed becomes legal. So there's courtesy and legality are two things that matter. I can speak from very personal experience. It matters. And if somebody were to ask me that, I would, 10 years ago, I would say, I can't have anybody smell my weed. So quite easily, you can be directed nowadays to things that don't have smoke, like edibles, obviously, vape pens, topicals, and capsules, stuff like that. Just things that won't get you that you won't have to deal with the hassle of it all.
Yeah, even some states have enacted ordinances that say you can't smoke or consume in public. So, which is makes it where am I supposed to go? Which makes things even more difficult. Like if you're in Vegas.
It's really difficult to smoke weed in Vegas, I have found. For some people, less than others. For me, it's difficult. But some people are like, oh, yeah, I was smoking fucking right in front of the hotel, inside the fountain. People...
Right next to that sign? It says you'll get fined. And
yeah, I was really, cool. I got my shit, confiscated and almost got kicked out.
Yeah, they don't really fuck around, the Vegas PD.
No, they don't. So you do have to be careful.
You might need to be discreet. I've actually had people ask about specifically vapes, which ones people don't particularly like the live resin cartridges for discretion.
They do smell like weed.
They do smell like
weed, you're right.
Which is it's a beautiful thing, but if you're looking for discretion, you might want to go with a distillate or more some sort of juicier flavored. You're just smoking an e-cig.
Right. For sure.
People still say e-cig.
An electronic cigarette. I think you just say vape and it's a blanket right now.
A blinker?
Well, a blinker is that's when you know what a blinker is, right?
No. No.
Well, I think what I'm to understand is when you hit the vape I'm assuming weed, for so long that it blinks.
Oh, okay. So you're overheating it.
Yes, so you're
Okay,
overheating it.
cool. Now I'm glad I don't know what that is.
But the kids love it.
Hitting a blinker.
That's so funny because nobody in my, my internet life, I haven't seen anybody say, bro, you're overheating it when you do that. Like, people are like, I'm so high. And it's like you just overheated.
You're like smoking extra like metal and lead.
You just gave your lungs like 3rd-degree burns.
Yeah. You overheated your Mario Kart.
I'm laughing because it's funny. And also because I do it too. Straight up. Like, I fucking do it all the time. So, like, I'm laughing at us all here.
We did. We almost overheated the Puffco.
We did. We just did it. I was snotting
was,
outside of my fucking nose.
It was blinking. I saw the rainbow for a second.
Yeah. So, listen. We all do it. However.
Now I know there's a term for it.
Yes.
Thank you.
We've learned and we've lived, and we're going to take a break. So those are just some tips that this is on Leafly, by the way, which is a nice resource, but the nerds are a great resource. This is some stuff that we've come across as well, just in our interaction as weed people, as budtenders, just some little guidelines to help you know what you're looking for too, because it is very overwhelming. And if you just go in kind of like out of nowhere, hopefully you'll have a budtender that will guide you and help you through. We would, but it may feel more intimidating and overwhelming if you don't have like a couple little guidelines and tips like we gave you. And if you have any questions, you can always DM us. We're very happy to be your virtual budtender. God, I hate baseball.
Today is October 28th, 2024, and the Los Angeles Dodgers just took another one.
God damn it!
Game number 3 goes to the Dodgers. They are now 3-0 in the series.
The Yankees are in the series, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention the Yankees.
Yeah, why mention them? They've done nothing this entire series. I am so used to not rooting, but I'm so used to not caring about postseason baseball because the Yankees haven't been in a series since 2009 that I've adopted Dodgers as my team, but not when they're playing against the Yankees at all. Gosh, do I just want to scream in your face, we won. But I can't because we haven't won. And I don't think we will win. And it's 3-0. I don't know, man. I don't know. But makes us see, we're not Mets fans. We can't be like, well, at least it was a good year. I can't do that because you should have played how you played all year. And I am angry. I am my father. And I have an agita, and smoking weed helps agita. And now the Yankees, who are going to have an agita for sure, they fucking Aaron Judge maybe cheer himself up after batting like 150.
That's an unfortunate number to be batting in the
for your MVP home run derby winner. Yeah, I know. But maybe he's just having an off couple of weeks, and that's okay. We're all human beings. And on his off season, he can go to the local dispensary in the Boogie Down and get himself some weed because the MLB said that that's okay.
Yeah, the MLB back in 2020 said that it's okay to consume cannabis on your free time.
Yeah, when you're chilling.
Well, yeah. As long as you don't come to the club, appear under the influence.
Right.
Or during the game. You can't look too stoned during practices, workouts, meetings, other things in the scope of your employment. But on your free time, go ahead because it's legal. Previously, the MLB would... This was kind of weird. They would... If you tested dirty, they would just fine you.
Right. And you'd have to go through treatment or something. Yeah.
But they didn't like suspend you right away. You'd have to get caught like a dozen times.
Yeah.
For cannabis before you would suspend you. But they still treated it like an alcohol addiction.
Right. Yeah.
But now with so many states that it's legal, how can you say
Right.
these athletes can't consume cannabis, whether on just for their own off personal time or even for recovery purposes?
Sure. And it's we know how good it is for your muscles and just for your state of mind. I mean, competing in like professional sports is a real it's a tough job. I joke about Aaron Judge, but the physicalness of all professional sports is not to be underestimated. These people are made of rocks. They are like modern day, gods, Greek gods and shit. Like, it's insane what they put their bodies through just to train, let alone play a good game of sports. And in that playing of sports, it doesn't even matter if it's like something that you think is low impact, like golf. Like, it is hard on the body it to be a professional sports player. So the fact that they don't, like a lot of these leagues didn't have access to weed it would baffle my entire dome. And the fact that the NFL is just coming around is insane because we know that CTE is directly helped by weed, and we could study that even more within the next year. So this is great. This is great for the muscles. This is great for their arthritises that they undoubtedly have. So many injuries. Ohtani can just come back to his fucking winning city.
Put some
Papa Barkley on that
balm,
old shoulder-ola and
get him
smoke a nice turtle pie.
Some giant fuyu.
Yes. And really just celebrate the life that he has made for himself. And I think that that's great. I love when any sports federation says okay to weed because, maybe not while you're training or while certain things, if you feel it's inhibiting you, and certainly not during the games. But,
for sure.
but
the only thing is that players are not allowed to endorse any products at this time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll work it out.
Yeah. Sure.
But smoke all you want.
Yeah, let them up. Baseball players. Fucking stupid baseball. All right, we're out of here. Stupid baseball. So sad. I really am sad. I really could have used this win this year. But you want to know what? It's okay. They can smoke weed. We have a win. Let us all have a great rest of our week, of our day. We will vote. Get your ballots in. Vote now. Vote early. Vote often. Definitely do your research. Thank you for hanging out with the nerds. Listen to Adobe continuously 24 hours of your life with the Adobe Radio app, and
Don't panic.
it's organic.